In this video, I'd like to backtrack a bit and expound upon a point that has already been addressed, particularly out of Jeremiah 3, verse 8, and, uh, and narrow it to a study that is looking to the causes for why God chose as he chose, choosing to divorce Israel, but maintained his covenant with Judah. As you can see, I pulled up Jeremiah 3:8, King James, having addressed the word causes before, um, especially as it related to adultery and fornication out of the Old Testament. This is interlinear Jeremiah 3:8, and here's the word I want to focus on right here, the causes for why God chose what he chose in divorcing Israel but not Judah. I want to clarify that that's an apostrophe right there, and it's very much likened unto the English usage of the apostrophe, where it establishes a contraction word, where essentially there's a letter missing right there. Technically, the Hebrew word is rev, and um, this right here is the original Hebrew, and it's referred to as a cantillation, and they're not precisely the same, but a geresh can be a cantillation, and thus it sort of becomes so technical that pretty soon you end up seeing that the letter is missing versus the letter isn't missing. Here, as I click onto the word study, the broad sense of the word is odoth, um, as it is expressed here, odoth. Um, but that's the shortened version right here, odoth. But there's or the longer version of the uncontracted uh, odoth is the letter R. It's a compound word, or in other words, two words joined together, and the the compound word is likened unto what they refer to as a construct state, and the first meaningful word is rod. I've opened up Blue Letter Bible and to open up a um, concordant study, a word study of the word rod. The King James Version uses the word rod in 86 times in 81 verses. It's a very meaningful study, all the way up to and including various things that I'll broadly say that God called Aaron and Moses to hold a rod, which was nothing short of a stick. Um, and as he held it, uh, God blessed his work through it by way of their willingness to see how much God can do through an inanimate object. And as an inanimate object, he did absolutely, positively miraculous miracles. Um, but that was partly through obedience to following God's instruction. First, there was obedience, then there was, let me show you what I can do when you obey me. And part of that became, let me show you what I can do with a rod when you disobey me. And of course, God asked him to throw the rod down, and it became a serpent. Let go of me, and all that you seek to do will be nothing short of you um, aligning with the serpent. And to any degree that Pharaoh wanted to show up and have a contest with rods versus rods, uh, God chose to swallow up all of Pharaoh's rods and make him turn them into nothing. Here, God turns water into blood. Here, he parted the Red Sea by way of a rod. Here, he discerned his calling by way of a rod. And here in Revelation, Christ clarifies, as a quote of Christ, that is, uh, that he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And the he is literally the one that overcomes by way of obedience. To the degree that you might wonder if I'm correct in an apostrophe referring to the letter R that refers to the word rod. Over here, it's that it came by way of same as this word. And I emphasize and point out that the word as is not the same as the word is. It resembles, but isn't precisely the same. So over here, there is a resemblance to a rod, but it's not the same as a rod. One of the modifiers, one of the modifiers is uh, to take the scriptural word of God, uh, including Christ, and bend its meanings, bend its interpretations, bend it to the point that the rod is no longer a rod, but it's instead it's a staff. And a staff is not the same as a rod. It's as a rod, but but it's bent, and it's bent because meanings are bent, and even people that seek to shepherd uh, Christ's flock can look at bent definitions. Here, it's um, to stir the fire, and it'll make fire hotter and hotter and hotter as you play with a bent stick. And through time, you'll come closer and closer to uh, the lake of fire. The proper account of rod oath, and this is oath. Up here, the transliteration is OWTH. So I copied that word, and it's a word study unto itself. The word study for OWTH, here's OWTH transliteration, is 226. And it's, if you ever opened up an understanding to what an oath is, an oath can be a one-way agreement. I agree to do something for you, whether you receive it or not. But it can also commonly be by way of consent, and um, and yet the word study shows here that it's a sign, pledge, or token. Of course, a pledge is a promise, um, and can be even a symbol. So a sign or a symbol is likened unto covering the full spectrum of what the cross is. Um, and this is even before Christ. I want to point out in particular that it included the covenant, and of course the covenant includes circumcision, it includes the rainbow, it includes uh, uh, I will be your God and you will be my people. Meanwhile, Blue Letter Bible offers a pronunciation, Strong's H226, oath. And that's just to further confirm that our English understanding of the word oath is the Hebrew understanding to the word oath. Agree, to enter into consent, agree, be willing, and thus that's like contractual relations agreement. Um, Here I've turned to a word study that I happen to know uh, attaches to the word consent or sign or the studies that come out of that, even rod oath and oath, etc. Um, Here, the word study is self, um, which of course rod oath um, and self turns to an ironic consideration since my name is Rod. If I dare try to paraphrase even or namely, the rod that is a stick is comparable to a person's name, Rod, and namely Rod. God chooses what he chooses and how he chooses, why he chooses, and why did he choose to glorify a stick? Well, actually, he calls a person to be more than a stick.